Everybody, Steph from the Hot Moon Podcast. Well, seemed like that's a wrap for Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors. Okay, I talked about it a little bit last night after the Warriors had lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves in 5. Okay, Jimmy Butler couldn't get you that one game. Unfortunately, payoff Jimmy is officially over and done with. All right, so now we gotta look towards the future. Look towards the future of the Golden State Warriors. I mean, you got an older Draymond Green now. You got an older Steph Curry, and you got an older Jimmy Butler. All right, and now that Steph Curry, he got injured, could have been running around too much minutes. Who knows? All right, but he's an older player. All right, so now the focus goes on to where is Jonathan Kuminga gonna go as a restricted free agent, right? Jonathan Kuminga, I praised him the other night. I said, he handled himself at 22 years old like a pro, dealing with just the lack of being able to play down the stretch when the season was ending and in the playoffs in the first round against Houston early on, not seeing the floor, and people were questioning what is going on with Steve Kerr and Jonathan Kuminga. Well, you know what? Jonathan Kuminga hit the jackpot. Steve Kerr had no choice but to play when Steph Curry went down. Okay, and he was able to log in some really good games. He busted up with a 18-point game, 23-point game, 30-point game, something like that in there. All right, good. He was able to put some good tape towards the end because it seemed like there was sabotaging his brother's money, possibly, or Steve Kerr was, as to why he wasn't playing him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the front office was involved in that decision making, right, to lower his value. As he enters being a restricted free agent, because I do believe that Jonathan Kuminga played himself into a big contract. I absolutely do. He's an up-and-coming wing player, 6'7", dynamic. People were saying he's not good on defense. Hey, listen, he can get better on defense. Okay, he's decent enough where I can see he can improve. He has a lot of hustle and drive. He doesn't look like he gets tired out there. Okay, you can work with that and coach that up into a really good two-way player. In the league that you need wings are a premium, you got that. All right, the Warriors saying they need help, they're in the Giannis sweepstakes. I'm getting hearing, what the hell? What about, investing in the guy you developed in Jonathan Kuminga? I mean, I really think Jonathan Kuminga developed a lot himself, but whatever, the guy that you developed, right? Like Jonathan Kuminga could be that bridge. Not saying that, he's the next great player in Golden State, but you don't know that. He's still a prospect. That's on the up. That's at 22 years old. At 22 years old. But I mean, he's still a prospect. I mean, he's still a prospect in terms of his ceiling is incredibly high. Still, and these last few games in Minnesota, he took advantage of it and didn't look back. Right, so the Warriors screwed themselves. Unless the Warriors, were the Warriors hoping to sign him on a smaller on a team friendly contract? Because Jonathan Kuminga had a really good season this year. I mean, I think he averaged 14 points, 15 points, something like that, right? And if he leaves out the door and they don't match, I mean, that's bad front office business, right? I mean, wouldn't they have been better off than just trading him then, if you knew if you had no intentions on actually wanting to sign to a contract? So, money talks. So this is what Jonathan Kuminga said. Jonathan Kuminga on if he would need to hear if he's going to be in the rotation. I don't know what the future is going to be. That's something that any player would love to hear. Going into a different year, I'm looking forward to that. I know it's going to happen. Yes. Next season, Jonathan Kuminga will be playing. It's not like the Warriors are going to pay this guy a big contract and he ain't in the rotation. You damn right he'll be in the rotation. But I don't see him playing in Golden State. I'd be shocked if he still wants. I'd be shocked if he's in Golden State next season, unless they make an offer where they blow out the other team's offer, which I don't think they're going to do. I haven't looked at the contract, but I mean their salary cap structure. But I mean they're paying. Obviously, Jimmy Butler, they're paying Draymond Green and Steph Curry a lot of money. Do you have enough money to add in another 25 to 35 mil a year player, maybe more, right? And I like Jonathan Kuminga's upside. And I'm glad that he was able to take advantage of the opportunity that he got and handle himself very well at 22 years old, dealing with a championship decorated coach. I know Steve Kerr got all the rings and all that stuff, but it's still, at the end of the day, you still got to play the game between the lines and deal with reality, deal with the realism of the situation that you're not playing. His coach is not putting you in the game for whatever reason. Why? Is it he doesn't like you? You're missing assignments. You're young. At the end of the day, Steve Kerr, you need the talent. And he has to get out there and figure things out. And Steve Kerr didn't seem like Steve Kerr wanted to let him figure things out. And it seemed like he was starting to figure things out later on in the Minnesota Timberwolves series, right? That's what you want, but it was too little, too late. And I said this in the series. I said this last series. I was like, I'm Jonathan Kuminga. I didn't want to play, but he did, and I'm glad he did, because if he didn't play anymore, could that have cost him more money? But then for him to put together a string of games this late, for him personally, very good. Weird stuff going on in Golden State, man. Weird stuff, man. So if he ends up going to another team, then that'll tell me that Golden State is some weird front office business. Then, honestly, like if you really were trying to hold Jonathan Kuminga back and not really play him, that's costing him potential earnings, right? That's bad too. But if you didn't want to, if you plan on not having him play, or if you had no plans for bringing him back, why didn't you just trade him and get more value early in the year? That could some additional pieces to help this team. Very weird front office business going on in Golden State, but nonetheless, like I said, Jonathan Kuminga, I think he hit the jackpot, and I think he's going to have a very great career, and the upside is looking very good for him. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.